Hello.
Good morning for me.
Good
Hello.
morning and evening and afternoon, or wherever people are coming from, right?
Good midnight. No, I'm just kidding. It's afternoon for me.
Could be.
I've
Could
been
be.
flying a lot, so I don't know where I am anymore.
Yeah,
Did you
that's a
tra-
What?
did you travel for that talk?
Yeah, I was in Paris yesterday.
Wow. Okay.
that's a humble brag right there. I'm so tired. I travel so
I
much
was in Belly. It was
for it.
amazing.
Well, I
Yeah,
didn't
meeting all.
travel, so I was just at home. My life is not that interesting as
No, it
yours,
was cool.
Ethan.
Hi Alexander. Guess we can give a wave. Hello, hello. Welcome to
Oh
Ollama
yeah,
joining.
yeah. Hi everyone. But
Yeah,
tell us,
I don't know
Ethan,
if you
how
want
was
to.
the conference?
Yeah, it was
Because you
good.
spoke
So
about K-Agent, right?
I did. I spoke about kagent. So I went to a conference called GoSim. GoSim stands for Global Open Source Innovation Meetup. Um, it was co-founded. I guess they came up with the idea. So that there's like an intro keynote kind of explaining the background. And it's interesting. I don't want to talk too much geopolitics in this because it's a technology podcast, but basically they were like, yeah, it was a bunch of people who met at KubeCon Amsterdam, and they realized that because of like the ratcheting up of political tensions around the world, it was probably going to be hard to have a sustainable technological movement that exists in the US or in China. And so they kind of believe that the center of that may be Europe going forward as a kind of middle ground, which was just an interesting concept. But aside from that, it was also just a good there were a lot of people there talking about a lot of interesting tech, and yeah, so it was cool. The specific talk that I gave, so the event was broken down into a bunch of tracks. There was like AI infrastructure models. There was PyTorch Day. So the head of PyTorch at the Linux Foundation was there. This guy named Matt White. He was one of the keynote. There's a guy from Linux Foundation AI. So not a lot of CNCF stuff. But on the Linux Foundation side, there were plenty of people. So the talk that I gave was specifically about kagent, and what I called it rethinking the open source agent stack with kagent. So that title was just sort of came to me. I don't know, but basically it was just discussing how we feel, some of the things that we've talked about here, right? How we feel about agents, how we feel that relates to Kubernetes, those sorts of things. I'll actually let me grab the I don't know if I can post
Are
a
you
comment,
doing the
but I'll
talk
grab
right
the
now,
slides.
or what?
Yeah, I can just redo it. No, it should. I think it's gonna go up on YouTube at some point.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I can definitely put that out. But anyway, the point is I can get the slides and stuff. But it was cool. I met a lot of cool people. Yeah, and yeah, it was really interesting. So
And it was
that's
in
it. I don't know.
Paris, right? So it's
Yeah. So
that adds to it as well, right?
yes, no, actually, yeah, it was cool. It was at this place called Station F, which is their like startup incubator space. Um,
So what did
so it
people
was
say? Were they like, "Oh, this K-Agent is awesome," or
oh, there was
were
no
they
one.
like,
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, actually, it was interesting because well, okay, there were two interesting things. One, there was kind of a growing understanding, it felt like, in the AI, right, community that Kubernetes is the best way to run inference, right? That like sort of the like swarm and all these different mechanisms that they've used in the past are have a lot of pitfalls that Kubernetes solves, right? And so there's much more of a push towards Kubernetes as at the inference layer. So that I thought is just an interesting like parallel track. But people were really interested in sort of the model that I talked about. And specifically what I mean by that is, you know, acknowledging that there are going to be talking about how we like optimize for the 90% and how we took all of the code out of it, and then talking about how the reality is that people are using multiple frameworks, and so creating a sort of layer and mesh of those frameworks, really I think people identified with that and had a lot of like I've had people ping me on LinkedIn actually since yesterday that have been like, wow, like your talk, like that was really interesting. I had never thought of it that way. So um, the other thing I think is cool, and I haven't brought this up yet because I just got back and I haven't been in any meetings, is I really think we should put some effort into documenting our software in Chinese and in other languages, because I think there's a lot of development happening all over the world, and it would be cool to try and get others involved
Yeah.
that don't necessarily speak English, and so.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
yeah, I think there's
yeah, yeah. So
that's like a less
anyone
strictly
watching, anyone
technological thing.
listening, yeah, if you speak Mandarin, write Mandarin, understand Mandarin, help us out, right? We can.
Yeah, that would be great. We're definitely gonna be looking for someone who, yeah, because probably take me a long time to learn. So
You're a smart guy, not that long, right? But,
Why don't you just focus on the PRs?
yeah.
oh, it comes out. It comes out. I get it. I get it.
All right. So what are we talking about today? So last time we did AI agent basics, right? We explained what the agents are, right, and tools and instructions and how all that plays into building an agent. And then today we decided to talk about custom models, right? How to configure custom models. So the initial experience that we had with kagent was, well, you have to have an open AI key, right, in order to use it. That's not true anymore. It's not true. Hasn't been true for a while, right, anymore, because you can use Anthropic as well, and you can also use Ollama, right? So I think Christian will show us how to,
Yeah,
not to put you on the spot, but you're going to show us a demo of
I
how to
will.
configure that, right?
Yeah, a couple things on that, right? Number one, I've had people say this to me, and I didn't quite understand where it was coming from, but it was probably just because kagent only supported using OpenAI originally. And that was just because we had to pick one and work on kagent, not, hey, that's the only model that matters or care about or whatever, right? It was the first one we said, this one supports tools and function calling, so let's just we got to build something. We can't just focus on that. And so, but some people also got confused. They said, well, you're using AutoGen, and AutoGen, that just supports OpenAI, and so you're stuck with that. Well, that's also not the case. I mean, we are using AutoGen, but AutoGen allows you to use multiple models. They're not related. And so, right. So we eventually have added more support for other models. I think people have contributed some of that code too, right, Peter?
I think so.
maybe
Like,
not.
I don't want to say no, yes or no, but we've had a lot of contributions from
We've had a lot of
people.
contributions.
So yeah,
a lot of people interested in that particular
yes,
thing, that configuration. And so, yeah, I'll demo it. But the last thing that I'll say is, it matters quite a bit what models you pick for this, for building agents, right? OpenAI, some of the models that we defaulted to, they have good support for being able to call out to functions and tools. Some of the other ones do not. And actually, in my demo, I'm going to show that. So I don't know if you all want to say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, to me it was interesting. It's not just like how the different models craft their responses per se, right? It's also like where this model cannot even figure out that I want to ask it to call a function, let alone figure out what the function is, what is the what are the parameters, arguments that you want to send to the function, and then actually go and invoke it. Right. So that was, for me, that was the biggest, like I knew that there's differences definitely, right, from something like OpenAI to like a very small model, but it was the function calling that got me, right? Where I don't want to steal your thunder, but there was one example when I was playing with it where when I asked it to, hey, can you just list me the pods in my namespace? And it was like, sure, here's pod 1 and pod 2. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not without without
It's
even
not. Yeah, I
calling
don't
the
know.
yeah, close enough, but still not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
The
definitely important, right? To know which
and
models you're using, to which one you
yeah.
want to pick, right, etc. So
And by the way, for what it's worth, you can get some pretty crazy models running on I don't know what computers people here are using, but
mm,
you can get some pretty large, powerful models running on the Macs now. Especially, I
Yeah,
think I have the 64 gigabyte RAM one. You can load some pretty massive models in there.
yeah.
Um,
128
so
gig over here. Just want to throw
what?
that out there,
Jesus. My
So
boss
you'll
wouldn't do
you will
that.
probably Christian will probably get the funniest responses from his models because he can only run so much in that. Oh no, you're
128
128.
gigabytes.
Never
128,
mind. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I
never
was like,
mind.
yeah, you literally mean so much. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yes,
literally run
yes, yeah,
so much.
yeah. You're right.
I'm actually
Uh,
running Gemini 2.5 on my on my Mac, so
All right,
uh,
so you can see I just shared my browser tab because if I share the whole window, then it makes everything. So do I need to? Can you see it? Okay, does that look okay?
hmm
it
Yep.
looks good to me, but yeah, anyone in watching the stream, just let us know if we need to bump up the.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we're going to look at two different things here at the same time, but it's the onboarding or like if you first start up kagent. Let me refresh here. All right, you can see there's a wizard that pops up that will walk you through the steps of setting up your first agent. We've had a number of folks suggest this that getting started with the agents is you're not sure exactly where to go, but this makes it very clear. When you first start it up, this is how you get started. You can skip this if you like and go right to the dashboard. But so the first thing that we'll do is let's get started. We're going to create a new configuration for the backend AI model that we want to use. So like we've just been discussing, OpenAI, I think it was GPT 4.0 was the default model. I think it might be Mini now, 4.1 Mini. But right when you get started, we can select the backend model that we want to use. So I can select the out of the box one, or I can say create a new one. And now from here, I can go through the various providers and specify the specific model that I want to use. Now I'm going to keep it open source. I'm going to pick one of the Qwen models. I actually have Qwen 2.5 running locally on this cluster, but this cluster happens to be a small Linux machine, and so I don't have the massive GPUs or RAM or any of that. So I'm going to try to run this demo using a very small model, and we'll see how it works. Uh,
Speaking of the community, I believe that a member of the community just built
Yes,
out this,
yes. The
the
model
the
tag thing. Yeah,
ability
oh
to do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah.
So can you
Anyway,
see this tab now?
We
Yeah, I
can.
just opened. Okay, right. So if you come here and you're looking at the various models to run from Ollama, I'm looking at what is that, Qwen 2.5. All right, you can see the different tags. If I click into it, you should be able to see the different tags. The default one, if you don't specify a tag, will be the 7 billion parameter model. I'm going to pick the smallest one. Again, just showing this demo on a smaller machine. If I ran this on my MacBook Pro with the massive RAM, I think I have gotten the 72 billion parameter run. It works nice. But right, so I'm going to stick with the smallest one, and I'm going to go ahead and continue with that. So now we set up the wizard, or the wizard prompts you to set up your first agent. And in this case, you can accept the defaults. And what this does is set up a very simple Kubernetes agent that allows you to interact with it, ask questions about it, and it'll even connect up some tools, which we'll do next. So you can see here, this is the system prompt. You can customize this. We're going to keep the default for right now. And click next. And from here, we can select some of the out-of-the-box tools or functions or APIs that we can call that will allow our agent to do more interesting things than just send a prompt to the backend model. All right, so we can get various resources from Kubernetes. I think that's the default that we'll start off with. But of course, this is just basic hello world. Get a agent running. Then you can go back and change the prompt, add more tools, maybe extend to using MCP and not just the built-in tools, and make the agent more powerful. So I'm going to say next. We're going to review it. We can see we're going to try to use our Ollama Quen model that's running in this particular cluster. And these are the tools that we're giving it. And so let's go ahead and create that. Oh,
you already have it.
Oh, man. All right. I guess I've done this before. We'll change the name. I should have started from scratch, but all right. So let's go ahead and create it. And then you can share this all you want on social media that you just created a new agent. You can go to your boss and say, hey, it took me 3 seconds. I just created a Kubernetes agent.
Well, it's 3 seconds button if you haven't created it before.
Right.
Otherwise, it's 5, right? Because you have to go back.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's finish it, and let's see. I got the first one, agent 1, that I just created here. Now, if I click into it, actually, before we do that, one thing that we will want to update is where did I even take that note down? Yeah, it's right here. 1 second. Right. So one thing from the getting started screen that we'll update is let's go back to our model configs. We see we have the default one, and we have the Quen one. Is we'll want to enter, where is this running?
Okay, yeah. That's another thing we'll probably have to add in the wizard, right?
So let's specify exactly where it's running. It's running in this particular namespace in Kubernetes and so on. So let's update that. And then let's come back to our agent. Now you can see in the upper left-hand corner, we will use the Ollama AI model in the back end. On the right-hand side, you can see the various tools that I've given to the agent. And now we're going to ask it, what pods do I have in the kagent namespace in this cluster?
Is this where we
now? This is where we we do a little dance because I don't know what's going to happen, because this is an open source model that isn't fine-tuned as well for function calling. It does have support for it, and we're using a very small model. So let's see what it understands.
Anyone who's watching, if you have like a good prompt that you want us to try out after this, just post it in the comments and we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how Quen 2.5 very little one behaves. So let's click send.
That one is like 300 megabytes, right? Or something.
Right.
So it actually did call.
Got to call the tool. It knows about something.
Well, what did it call it with? What did it do?
Yeah,
that's the kagent namespace. So I got that right. Results. It got some results.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it didn't.
It did. Well,
it didn't get it from the namespace. Yeah.
So it wasn't 100% correct. It was very close. The all namespaces argument, if you scroll up, was set to true for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, it did pretty good.
It did pretty good.
It did pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it. Good job, Gwen. Good job,
Yeah.
Gwen. Point
Yeah, I
five.
mean,
Little,
look, the
little
actual
tiny
response
plan.
is correct, though, right?
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
that,
and then
right?
it
So
figured
that's
it
Yeah,
out.
there's only one pod running in that
Yeah.
namespace, so it did it. Wow. Okay.
All right, now make it do something funny.
Yeah. So,
Now do a little dance.
what config maps do I have? Let's see if it understands anything about that. And this is running on CPU architecture also, so it's probably going to be a little slow.
You know, it's cool. I was doing a demo yesterday. It was using OpenAI, but around and you know, I almost exposed some private keys because I was like, I was trying to see, you know, like what config maps and things were attached to the pod, and then it decided, oh well, let me see what secrets are attached. And I was like, oh no, I'm bored. I'm bored.
Oh, there
Okay.
you go.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it looks like it's I don't know.
It just
It,
made
it
that up.
made it up. It made it up.
Let's see. Kagent config map. I'm gonna try this. You won't see this. Oh, there's way more config maps.
Yeah. It didn't call any functions, right?
Yeah.
It
It
just made it up.
It just hallucinated a little bit here.
Just let it know if you need all the config maps. It just gave you like a taste, just a little bit.
Okay, well, jokes aside, right? I think our point here is still so awesome demo. First of all, Christian. I mean, the fact that you can just hook up a random model here from the internet is like obviously we don't recommend pulling in random models.
Yes. Yeah.
The fact that you were able to just pull in a model very easily and start running the same workflow against it is super cool, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
especially with the amount of people who are creating models now, especially in the open, right? Like you have Llama, you have all the Llama models. You have Quen out of
Right.
I think is that Tencent, and then you have DeepSeek, right? So there's the
Right.
number of powerful models coming out is really huge, and especially again if you're running a Mac, or let's say you even just have, you know, the possibilities really here are kind of endless. And you know, I saw a really cool talk actually at this conference about doing inference in Cloud Run and scaling to 0. So like potentially even for us, right, we could run some crazy expensive like open source model, you know, crazy top of the line open source model and just scale to 0 every night.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, no, I think this is an important feature for kagent, because we've talked with a number of organizations, definitely a lot of folks in the open source project that are saying, hey, we want to run our own models, and we want to be able to point to our own models. And if we had run this on GPUs and larger models, it would have behaved better.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's a really cool feature to have.
Yeah, and one of the benefits also here, I don't know if we mentioned it explicitly or not, is this is a model that runs on your machine, right? So there's you're not sending data anywhere else, right? It's running on your machine. Also, Christian, for like if people want to set this up and try it out themselves, I think we have a doc page, right, that explains how to do this. But I think in general, what you and you were running it inside the cluster, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I know. I was testing it while I was running it like outside of the cluster, and that works as well, right? You just have to make sure you configure it with like host Docker internal to access it like that. But what I was trying to say is to set this up, you'll have to download the Ollama binary, right? And then you'll have to pull the model yourself. We're not automatically pulling the model for you. You'll have to do it yourself.
Right.
But still, it's not too. There's nothing. The hardest part is waiting for the model to download, I think.
Yeah,
And that's
that
the
could take a while.
longest thing that it takes the longest time to do that, to just download the model. But once you have it downloaded, you can just reference it and run it. So
Yeah, the one thing that I really like that is probably a little different than some of the other agent frameworks is that, I've probably mentioned this a number of times, but everything is backed by declarative configuration. It's YAML.
oh yeah. Oh,
Right.
let me put your screen back
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so you should be able to see that.
Yeah.
pretty well.
It's
You can see that this is the agent we created. This is the agent that caused us not to create it the first time. But you can see all of the agents are listed here as declarative configurations. Now, if I got in there, right, I can get that output it as YAML. All right, and you can see I'm specifying a specific model config, the system prompt, and the tools that I've given it access to. And now this can go into Git, and you can audit changes to the agent as you continue to improve it through your normal Git-based workflows. If I go ahead and get the model configs, let's do it. We can see that we created that Ollama Quen model config, and that also is stored as declarative configuration. All right, it's fairly simple. What's the model name? Where is it located? And now kagent can use this information to call out to the different models. One cool thing that I want to show, maybe as a kind of teaser for the next live stream or something, is let's go ahead and get. I guess I could have just typed it out. I think if we take a look at this, config, you can see the out-of-the-box Kubernetes agent has a lot of powerful stuff, right? It's got a lot of tools, specific instructions in the system prompt, but we also expose it as an A to A agent card. So what this means is, A to agent to agent, A to A is the Google protocol that was released for agents communicating with other agents. What this means now is we can expose our agents as A to A compatible agents, and but we can talk a little bit about that next time.
Yeah, that's a pretty neat
Hot off
thing.
the presses.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're at 30 minutes more or less. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about in terms of like models? If there are any questions that people want to ask, now is your time to ask them. If not, let me put the ticker on the screen as well, so you can join our Discord if you have any questions at any time, or if you want to chat with us or any other contributors to the project. Repo is out there. There's a lot of good
meeting,
new issues.
the new community meeting.
Yes. We have a new community meeting we started up last week. We already had 2 instances of it, right? The next one is happening on Tuesday, right? We're Tuesday.
Are they every Tuesday or every other Tuesday?
No, I think it's every
Tuesday.
Every Tuesday. Yeah, every
Awesome.
Tuesday. Yeah. And we do have, I just want to quickly share this as we have some time. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah. So we do have the community page. If you go to kagent.dev/community, we have a community page that will show you all the past events, past community meetings, past streams that we did, right? So you can go and watch all of those. and then meeting notes and information in case you want to join the next meeting,
Yeah.
community meeting. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely recommend everyone join. It's more of a dynamic, it's more interactive. This is more, demoing, showing things off. But
Yes.
yeah, a lot of
Awesome.
people
And if
enjoy
anyone's digging into kagent and working on it and maybe bring it into their use cases and want to present, we
Yes.
just had someone present, and it was awesome to dig in with their use case and to get feedback from others on the call. It was great. So we'd love to have people come on and present.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right. I don't see any questions. So topic for next week, like I have an idea what we should do. I'll put it out there and you guys tell me what you think. So we added support for memory in your agents. So I think maybe we do that next time.
Yeah. I think that's a great
Sounds
topic.
good to me.
Yep. All right. So we'll talk about memory and how that plays into kagent and how to use it in your agents as well. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks, guys, for taking the time.
All right. Yeah.
And we'll see everyone next week.
Sounds
All right.
good.
See ya.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care.